There is a reason the Bible tells us to guard our hearts, for out of them flow the issues of life. What you allow into your heart and what you let out through your words shape the course of your life. Many people walk through life unaware of how much damage is done simply because they have not learned to control what they share. They speak too soon, reveal too much, and trust too quickly. And before they know it, the very things they once held dear are trampled upon by those who never had good intentions for them. Your heart is the center of your being. It is where your thoughts, emotions, and desires reside. It is what drives your decisions, your relationships, and your faith. But if you are not careful, it can also be the place where bitterness, doubt, and destruction take root. The enemy knows that if he can get into your heart, he can control your life. That is why he often uses people, sometimes even those closest to you, to plant seeds of fear, discouragement, and confusion. And one of the ways he does this is by making you careless with your words. The more you speak, the more vulnerable you become. Not everyone around you is meant to know what is in your heart. Some people appear as friends but are nothing more than spies in your life, waiting for the right moment to use your own words against you. They act interested in your struggles, your dreams, and your challenges, but in reality they are gathering information. They want to know what makes you tick. They want to know where you are weak. And if you give them enough, they will find a way to use it to their advantage. Jesus himself understood this truth. He spoke to the crowds in parables, revealing deep truths only to those who had ears to hear. He didn't explain everything to everyone. He didn't go around telling people his next move. He didn't feel the need to defend himself when he was falsely accused, because he knew that not all hearts were pure and not every listener was sincere. Some of the greatest downfalls in life happen not because the enemy was powerful, but because people opened their mouths too soon. They shared their plans with those who secretly envied them. They confided in those who pretended to care. They exposed their weaknesses to those who had no intention of helping them, and before they realized it, they were left wounded, betrayed, and discouraged. It is not about living in fear. It is about living in wisdom. There are things that belong to you and God alone. Your dreams, your struggles, your victories. Some of these are meant to be prayed over, not spoken about. There are seasons in life where silence is your greatest strength. When Joseph told his brothers about his dreams, they hated him even more. His own words made them jealous. His own excitement made them turn against him. Had he kept quiet, perhaps his journey would have been different. There is power in silence. The world teaches people to be loud, to announce every move, to prove themselves with words. But wisdom teaches the opposite. Wisdom teaches that your life should speak for itself. Your actions should carry more weight than your words. And your heart should be protected at all costs. Think about the times when you shared something too soon and regretted it later. Think about the moments when you trusted the wrong person and felt the sting of betrayal. Those experiences were not meant to make you bitter. They were meant to make you wiser. Every person does not deserve access to your heart. Every ear does not deserve to hear your plans. Every mouth does not deserve to carry your word. The wise man knows when to speak and when to remain silent. He knows that some things are meant to be prayed over, not announced. He understands that not every battle is fought with words, and not every truth is meant to be shared with the world. Words are powerful. They can build up or tear down, open doors or shut them, bring peace or cause division. Yet too many people speak carelessly, believing that their words have no consequence. They share their thoughts, feelings, and plans with anyone who will listen, not realizing that the very words they speak can later be used against them. In life, not everyone who listens to you has good intentions. Some people are not listening to understand, but to gather information. They wait for you to reveal your weaknesses, your struggles, and your dreams so they can use them for their own benefit. A conversation that seemed harmless at the time can later be twisted, exaggerated, or repeated to someone else with an entirely different meaning. And suddenly what you spoke in confidence becomes the very thing that brings trouble into your life. This is why the Bible warns us about the tongue. The tongue may be small, but it has the power to set an entire life on fire. It has the ability to bring destruction when not controlled. Many people have lost relationships, opportunities, and even their peace of mind because they spoke too soon or trusted the wrong person with their words. They confided in someone who appeared to care, only to later realize that their words were being spread like wildfire. There are people in this world who will smile in your face and pretend to be your friend, but deep down they are only looking for something to use against you. They may ask innocent questions, pretending to be concerned about your life, but their motives are not pure. They want to know your struggles so they can judge you. They want to know your dreams so they can discourage you. They want to hear your plans so they can sabotage them. Even in the Bible, we see how words were used as weapons. The Pharisees constantly tried to trap Jesus with his own words. They would ask him questions not because they wanted to learn, but because they wanted something to accuse him of. They wanted to twist his words, to catch him in a statement that they could use against him. And yet Jesus responded with wisdom. He did not give them what they wanted. He did not speak just to prove himself. He remained silent when necessary, and when he did speak, his words were filled with discernment. Too many people make the mistake of thinking that just because someone listens, it means they care. But some people listen only to gather information. Some listen so they can repeat what you said to someone else, adding their own twist to the story, and before you know it, your own words have been turned into a weapon against you. Be careful who you trust with your words. Be careful who you share your plans with. Not everyone needs to know what you are thinking. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts and feelings. The more you speak, the more you give others the opportunity to use your words against you. People have lost jobs, friendships, and even their reputations because they spoke too freely in the wrong company. They shared their frustrations with someone they thought they could trust, only to find out that their words had been repeated to the very person they were talking about. They expressed their dreams to someone they believed would support them, only to later realize that person had spoken against them behind their back. Even when you mean no harm, your words can be taken out of context. A simple statement can be exaggerated. A harmless joke can be turned into an insult. A private conversation can suddenly become public. And once words leave your mouth, you no longer have control over how they will be used. Jesus was the Son of God, yet he did not reveal everything to everyone. He walked among men with divine knowledge, wisdom beyond human understanding, and the power to see into the hearts of people. He knew things no one else knew, but he also understood that not everyone could handle the truth, and not everyone was ready to receive it. There were times when he spoke, and there were times when he remained silent. There were moments when he answered questions directly, and there were moments when he spoke in parables, concealing truth from those who did not have the heart to receive it. The Bible shows that Jesus often withheld information because he knew the intentions of those around him. The Pharisees and teachers of the law would come to him pretending to seek wisdom, but their hearts were filled with deceit. They did not want to learn, they wanted to catch him. They wanted to catch him saying something they could use against him. But Jesus was never careless with his word. When they tried to test him with questions about the law, about Caesar, about his identity, he answered with wisdom, giving them nothing they could use against him. He did not feel the need to prove himself to those who had already made up their minds against him. Even his own disciples did not always receive full knowledge. There were things he could have explained in detail, but instead he told them, "I have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now." He knew there was a right time for revelation. There was a right season for truth to be understood. Not everything needed to be revealed at once. Some things had to be hidden until the hearts of men were ready to receive them. When he performed miracles, there were times he told people not to speak of what had happened. After healing the sick, after casting out demons, after revealing his power, he would sometimes say, "Tell no one." Why? Because he knew that premature exposure could cause unnecessary problems. He understood timing. He knew that if word spread too quickly, opposition would rise before his mission was complete. He knew that crowds would try to make him king by force, misunderstanding his true purpose. He understood the nature of people, how easily they misinterpret, how quickly they turn, how some seek signs but not truth. At his trial, when he stood before the high priest, before Pilate, before the people who sought his death, he remained silent. He did not defend himself. He did not argue. He did not explain, because he knew that no amount of words would change the hearts of those who had already decided his fate. He knew when to speak and when to be silent. Jesus set an example for wisdom. He showed that not everything needs to be spoken. Not every question needs an answer. Not every truth needs to be revealed to every person. Some people ask not because they want understanding, but because they want to find fault. Some listen not to learn, but to accuse. And some are simply not ready for the truth because their hearts are hardened. Even after his resurrection, he did not reveal himself to everyone at once. He appeared first to those who believed, to those who followed him in faith. The world did not immediately see the fullness of his glory. There was a process, a plan, a divine order to when and how things were revealed. Jesus never spoke just to prove a point. He never revealed information carelessly. He walked with wisdom, knowing that truth is precious and should only be shared with those who are prepared to receive it. Not everyone who smiles in your face has good intentions. Not everyone who claps for you is truly happy for you. Some people pretend to be on your side while secretly hoping for your downfall. They watch your progress, but not with admiration, with envy. They listen to your words not to understand, but to find something to use against you. They walk beside you not to support you, but to wait for the moment when they can betray you. This world is filled with people who disguise themselves as friends, as family, as supporters, yet their hearts are filled with jealousy and deception. Even in the Bible, we see how those closest to someone can be the very ones who work against them. Joseph, chosen by God, had a dream, a vision of greatness. But instead of celebrating with him, his own brothers hated him. They did not see his dream as something to be inspired by. They saw it as a threat. Their jealousy consumed them to the point that they threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery. He did nothing to harm them, yet they could not stand to see him rise. There are people in life who cannot handle your growth. As long as you stay beneath them, as long as you struggle, as long as you remain where they are comfortable seeing you, they will treat you well. But the moment you start to rise, the moment you start to walk in your calling, the moment you begin to separate yourself from the crowd, their true feelings come to the surface. Suddenly, the ones who once called you friend grow distant. The ones who once supported you start to criticize you. The ones who once walked beside you begin to plot against you. Even Jesus was betrayed by someone in his inner circle. Judas walked with him, saw his miracles, heard his teachings, yet for 30 pieces of silver, he handed him over to his enemies. It was not a stranger who betrayed Jesus. It was someone he had eaten with, someone he had trusted, someone who had called him master. And that is the painful reality of life. Betrayal rarely comes from a stranger. It comes from those who have been close enough to know your weaknesses, close enough to know your struggles, close enough to know what matters most to you. Some people are in your life not because they love you, but because they want to keep an eye on you. They want to see what you are doing, how far you are going, and whether you will surpass them. They pretend to be on your side, but their hearts are filled with resentment. They do not celebrate your success, they tolerate it. They do not rejoice in your blessings, they question why you have them. They do not pray for you to succeed, they secretly hope you fail. This is why discernment is so important. Not everyone deserves access to your life. Not everyone should know your plans. Some people are only in your life to gather information, to discourage you, to keep you from moving forward. And if you are not careful, you will find yourself sharing your heart with those who intend to break it. You will confide in people who will later use your words against you. You will seek support from those who secretly hope you never succeed. The truth is, when God begins to elevate you, when He starts to take you to new levels, some people will fall away, some relationships will end, some people will turn against you, and it is not always because you did something wrong. It is because your growth exposes their insecurities. Your success reminds them of their failures. Your blessings highlight their lack of faith. Instead of seeing your progress as proof of what God can do, they see it as a reminder of what they have not achieved. Instead of rejoicing with you, they envy you. Instead of supporting you, they oppose you. This is why wisdom is necessary. Not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. Some people will be removed from your life because they were never truly for you. Some relationships will end because God is protecting you from unseen dangers. Some connections will be broken because their purpose in your life has expired. And though it may hurt, it is necessary. Because when you walk in your purpose, when you follow the path that God has set before you, those who were never truly for you will reveal themselves. There is something powerful about mystery. When a person does not reveal everything about themselves, when they do not constantly explain, justify, or expose their thoughts and plans, they command a certain level of respect. The world has convinced many that in order to be liked, in order to be accepted, they must always share, always speak, always be open. But in reality, the more people know about you, the less they respect you. The more familiar they become with your thoughts, your struggles, your habits, the more they begin to take you lightly. Look at those who are highly respected in any field. Leaders, visionaries, men and women of wisdom. They do not speak just for the sake of speaking. They do not explain themselves to everyone. They do not feel the need to reveal their every move. Instead, they understand the power of restraint. They know that when a person holds back, when they do not always reveal what is on their mind, people begin to wonder, to observe more closely, to take them more seriously. Even Jesus carried himself with an air of mystery. He spoke in parables, not giving away the fullness of truth to just anyone. He withdrew from the crowds at times, choosing solitude over constant interaction. He did not explain everything, even to his disciples, because he understood that some things are meant to be revealed at the right time. When Pilate questioned him, looking for a way to justify his actions, Jesus remained silent. He did not argue. He did not beg for understanding, because he knew that the respect of man was not what defined him. People often lose respect not because of their actions, but because they speak too much. They give away their thoughts too easily. They reveal their weaknesses too quickly. And the more familiar people become with you, the less they regard you with honor. Mystery creates distance, and distance creates respect. When people do not know everything about you, they begin to see you differently. They cannot predict your next move. They cannot define you on their own terms. Instead, they must wait. They must observe. They must listen carefully, because they know you do not waste words. There is a reason why those who talk too much are often not taken seriously. Their words become cheap. They give away too much of themselves, and soon people begin to see them as common. But when a person knows how to control their tongue, when they understand that not every thought needs to be shared, they become someone that others listen to when they do speak. Their words carry weight because they do not speak without purpose. Look at the people in your life whom you hold in the highest regard. Chances are they are not the ones who share everything with everyone. They are the ones who maintain a level of privacy, a level of control over their speech. They do not feel the need to tell the world what they are doing, what they are thinking, what their next move is. And because of that, people watch them closely. People respect them more. Many people make the mistake of thinking that in order to be loved, they must be fully known. But there is a difference between being known and being understood. When you keep a level of mystery about you, when you do not give away every detail of your life, people seek to understand you more. They value your presence more. They listen more intently. The more available you make yourself, the less valuable you become in the eyes of others. The more you reveal, the less they feel the need to seek. Mystery commands attention. It creates an atmosphere where people respect your words, your actions, and your presence. It is not about being secretive for the sake of pride, but about understanding that when something is rare, when something is not easily accessed, it holds greater worth. Life is full of uncertainties, filled with moments of pain, betrayal, and trials that can shake even the strongest heart. In a world where people change, where relationships can disappoint, where promises can be broken, there is only one place of true refuge: God. He is the one who never fails, never leaves, never changes. When everything else shifts, when people turn away, when troubles surround you, He remains the same. He is your safe place, your shelter, your unshakable foundation. People seek security in many things. Some look to money, believing that financial stability will keep them safe. Others seek comfort in relationships, trusting that the presence of another person will bring them peace. Some run to success, hoping that achievements will give them a sense of worth and security. But none of these things can truly protect the soul. Money can disappear, people can walk away, success can fade, but God remains. He is the rock that cannot be moved, the refuge that cannot be shaken. When storms of life come, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, there is only one place to run: into the arms of God. He does not turn away those who seek Him. He does not reject the brokenhearted. He welcomes those who cry out to Him, those who need His strength, those who long for peace that the world cannot provide. He is the strong tower, the place of safety for all who trust in Him. There will be times when you feel alone, when the people you once relied on are no longer there. There will be moments when betrayal cuts deep, when the ones you trusted the most turn against you. It is in those moments that you will see the faithfulness of God. He does not abandon His children. He does not fail those who put their hope in Him. Even when everyone else walks away, He stands beside you. Even when the world rejects you, He calls you His own. The Bible says that God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. He does not just offer protection, He is protection. He does not just give peace, He is peace. He does not just provide comfort, He is the source of all comfort. When the enemy surrounds you, when fear tries to consume you, when the pressures of life feel overwhelming, you can run to Him. In His presence there is safety. In His presence there is healing. In His presence there is a peace that surpasses all understanding. Many try to handle life's battles on their own. They fight in their own strength. They struggle under the weight of burdens they were never meant to carry. But God never intended for His children to walk alone. He calls His people to take refuge in Him, to lean on Him, to trust that He will fight the battles they cannot fight on their own. He is the shield that protects, the fortress that stands against every attack, the covering that keeps His children secure. The world is unpredictable. One day everything seems fine, and the next everything changes. But no matter what happens, God remains the same. He is not moved by circumstances. He is not shaken by the storms of life. He holds all things in his hands, and when you place your trust in him, you are held securely. There is no safer place than in the presence of God. No person, no possession, no achievement can offer the security that he provides. When fear rises, when doubts creep in, when life feels uncertain, he is the anchor that holds firm. He is the place where your soul can find rest. He is the one who knows every burden, every pain, every struggle, and yet still invites you to come to him, to lay it all down, to find shelter in his love. There is power in silence, power in restraint, power in living a life that speaks louder than words ever could. The world is filled with people who talk too much, who constantly explain themselves, who try to prove their worth by what they say. But words alone do not define a person. Actions do. Character, integrity, and the way a person carries themselves will always say more than mere speech. A person who is truly wise does not need to announce their wisdom. A person who is truly strong does not need to boast about their strength. A person who walks in true purpose does not need to convince others of their calling. When a life is lived with discipline, with focus, with humility, it speaks on its own. There is no need for loud explanations, no need for constant self-promotion, no need to argue with those who misunderstand. The evidence is in the way one lives, in the way one treats others, in the way one remains steadfast, regardless of the opinions of others. Jesus himself lived this way. He did not go around trying to prove who he was. He did not waste time defending himself to those who doubted. When the Pharisees questioned him, when they demanded signs, when they accused him, he did not engage in endless debates. His life, his works, his unwavering obedience to the Father spoke for him. He healed the sick, cast out demons, raised the dead, not to prove a point, but because it was who he was. His actions revealed his identity far more than his words ever could. People often spend too much time trying to explain themselves, trying to prove something to those who will never believe in them. But true greatness is not found in convincing others. It is found in quiet consistency, in walking the path God has set without seeking approval from the world. When a person remains faithful, when they do what is right, even when no one is watching, when they refuse to be distracted by opinions, their life begins to speak in a way that no argument ever could. There is a reason why those who talk the most are often not taken seriously. Their words lose weight because they are not backed by action. But when a person moves in silence, when they let their results speak, when they allow their integrity to be the proof of who they are, people take notice. There is a respect that comes when a person does not feel the need to prove anything. There is a power in quiet confidence, in knowing that time will reveal everything. Even when people try to misrepresent you, even when they spread lies, even when they doubt your abilities, a life lived in truth will always rise above false words. The truth cannot be hidden for long. A person's true nature will always be revealed in their actions, in the way they respond to challenges, in the way they endure hardships without losing their purpose. Some try to argue their way into respect, but real honor is earned through consistency. A person who is disciplined every day, who walks in integrity, who does not let emotions dictate their actions, will always be recognized in the end. The loudest voices are often the weakest. But those who remain steady, who keep moving forward without the need for validation, are the ones who leave a lasting impact. Life is not about proving a point to others. It is about fulfilling the purpose God has given. It is about walking the path without distraction, without fear, without the need to be understood by everyone. The right people will see. The right people will recognize. The ones who are meant to witness the truth will do so in time. And those who refuse to see, those who choose to doubt, those who insist on misunderstanding, no amount of words will ever change their hearts. But a life well lived, a life rooted in truth, a life that remains steady despite opposition, that is a life that speaks for itself. In the end, wisdom teaches that not everything should be shared, not everyone can be trusted, and not every battle is worth fighting with words. There is strength in silence, in discretion, in allowing your life to speak where explanations fall short. Those who understand the value of mystery, the importance of guarding their heart, and the power of quiet consistency will always walk with greater respect and security. True refuge is found in God, not in the approval of others. Not everyone will celebrate your success. Not everyone wants the best for you, and some will use your words against you. But when you trust in God as your safe place, when you walk in wisdom and let your actions reveal the truth, no opposition, no betrayal, and no misunderstanding can stop the purpose He has set for you. Time reveals all things, and in the end, it is not words that define a person, but the life they live.